Herb Snake Medusa, the cursed guardian of fate cross-swords fire. Chapter 1. The Origins of Medusa. In the beginning, when the cosmos was young and the land still whispered with forgotten secrets, Medusa was born under a rare celestial alignment. Her birth was heralded by the soft murmur of the wind and the gentle caress of dawn's first light. In a small, secluded village on the edge of a vast, enchanted forest, Medusa grew up surrounded by the simple beauty of nature. Her eyes, as bright as the morning star, and her heart, pure and filled with wonder, quickly set her apart from her peers. The people of her village, who revered the old ways and the gentle balance of life, believed that her arrival was foretold by ancient prophecies. Elders whispered that she would one day become a key figure in a struggle between light and darkness, a beacon of hope and tragedy intertwined. As she roamed the meadows and learned the secret language of the birds and the trees, Medusa's spirit was shaped by both the beauty and fragility of mortal life. Her early days were filled with laughter, stories, and a deep connection to land, even as fate quietly began to weave a darker thread into her destiny. Chapter 2. The Cursed Beauty. As Medusa blossomed into womanhood, her extraordinary beauty became the talk of both mortal and divine realms. With features that seemed sculpted by the gods themselves, her presence evoked both admiration and envy. It was during a grand festival held in honor of an ancient deity that the envy of the gods first stirred, a goddess who saw Medusa's radiance as a challenge to her own divine allure. In a twist of fate that would forever alter her existence, a curse was cast upon Medusa. What began as a subtle change soon transformed her once flowing hair into writhing serpents, each movement echoing the anguished whispers of the gods. The villagers, shocked and frightened, could no longer gaze upon her without a mixture of awe and dread. Yet within Medusa's eyes a storm of emotion raged, sorrow, defiance, and a deep-seated yearning for understanding. The curse, both a punishment and a mark of uniqueness, forced her into solitude, igniting a journey to uncover the mysteries of her destiny. Chapter 3. The Wrath of the Gods. The heavens roiled with divine indignation as word spread of Medusa's transformation. The council of gods convened, their faces masked in eternal pride and jealousy, deciding that such mortal defiance could not be left unpunished. In a grand, fateful ritual, the deities combined their wrath, channeling ancient energies that further sealed Medusa's fate. Amidst the celestial turmoil, Medusa experienced a transformation that was as much internal as it was external. The once luminous features of her face were marred by a profound melancholy, a mirror of the gods' cruelty. Though her gaze could now petrify any onlooker, her heart retained a capacity for compassion and yearning for justice. In her isolation, she began to perceive the intricate interplay between divine vengeance and mortal suffering, a painful lesson in the fragility of beauty and the cruelty of envy. Chapter 4. The Birth of the Gorgon. Banished from the only home she had known, Medusa wandered into the shadowed fringes of the world. No longer embraced by the warmth of community, she roamed desolate landscapes and crumbling ruins. In her solitude, the monster that legends would come to fear was quietly born. With each passing day, Medusa's sorrow blended with an emerging sense of power, a mysterious strength nurtured by her connection to the earth and sky. Embracing her identity as a Gorgon did not mean surrendering to the curse entirely. Rather, it was a rebirth of sorts. In the silence of abandoned temples and under the watchful eyes of the ancient stars, she began to understand that her curse was also a gift, a harbinger of untapped energies and a link to forgotten magic. Slowly, whispers of her existence spread among the scattered outcasts of the world, those who recognized that her transformation was not solely a tale of punishment, but also one of potential transformation. Chapter 5. The First Transformation. The metamorphosis of Medusa was as gradual as it was profound. The initial shock of her physical transformation gave way to introspection and a quest for self-understanding. In the twilight hours, when the boundary between dreams and reality blurred, she experimented with her newfound powers. Her once fearful gaze, now dangerous yet mesmerizing, became a tool of both defense and inadvertent communication with the wild forces of nature. Medusa's internal journey was marked by moments of fierce solitude and sudden bursts of clarity. In these moments, she discovered that her curse was layered, imbued with both the potential for great destruction and the possibility of profound healing. As she learned to control the serpentine locks that framed her visage, each day became a lesson in mastering not just the physical, but also the metaphysical aspects of her fate. Her solitary pilgrimage through barren lands gradually revealed hidden sanctuaries and ancient relics, each echoing with the wisdom of past civilizations and hinting at a way to reclaim her lost humanity. Chapter 6. The Oracle's Prophecy. In the midst of her wandering, Medusa encountered a mysterious oracle, a wizened seer shrouded in tattered robes and echoing a voice that seemed to carry the weight of centuries. The oracle spoke in riddles that danced on the edge of meaning, yet one prophecy emerged with crystalline clarity. In your eyes lies both destruction and salvation. These words reverberated within Medusa's soul, igniting a spark of hope and a burning question. Could a very curse that had made her an outcast also serve as a key to healing a broken world? The prophecy set her on a path towards self-discovery and the pursuit of ancient wisdom. Over time, the oracle's riddles became a guide, a map leading through perilous terrains, enchanted forests, and hidden realms. As she embraced this destiny, Medusa began to see her curse not as a permanent sentence, but as a challenge to be met head-on, a catalyst for an epic journey that would redefine the balance between light and darkness. Chapter 7. A Kingdom in Turmoil. Far to the north, in a mighty kingdom divided by ambition and old rivalries, unrest simmered like a long-forgotten ember, waiting to ignite. This land, once united under the benevolence of a just ruler, now teetered on the brink of civil war. Factions vied for power, old grudges were rekindled, and the people cried out for a sign of hope amid the looming chaos. In the midst of this turmoil, rumors of a cursed Gorgon with the power to petrify the living began to circulate. To some, she was a monster, a harbinger of doom. To others, she was a misunderstood savior whose unique abilities could turn the tide of destiny. The kingdom's elite, desperate for a solution to their internal strife, began to see the potential in an alliance with one who had transcended the mortal plane. Thus, the stage was set for a convergence of fates, where the destiny of an entire kingdom would soon intertwine with the enigmatic life of Medusa. Chapter 8. The Gathering of Heroes. In a remote keep nestled between rugged mountains and dense, whispering forests, a band of heroes began to form. They were an unlikely fellowship, a noble warrior with a scarred past, a cunning sorcerer whose knowledge of ancient lore was rivaled only by his ambition, and a gentle healer whose compassion bridged the gap between mortal pain and divine mercy. Each of them had been drawn by the mysterious echoes of the oracle's prophecy. Their meeting was fated, their paths converging as they resolved to seek out the Gorgon of legend. They did not come with swords drawn in mind to slay her, but rather with hearts open to understanding the truth behind her curse and the power it held. As they prepared to depart on a journey fraught with peril and promise, the fellowship recognized that their mission was more than a rescue or a conquest. It was a quest for knowledge, redemption, and the unraveling of ancient secrets that bound their lives to the fate of a long-forgotten world. Chapter 9. The Legend Spreads. As the heroes ventured further from their homeland, tales of Medusa's mysterious existence spread like wildfire across towns, villages, and bustling trade routes. Minstrels and poets, inspired by the dual nature of beauty and horror, sang songs of the cursed maiden whose eyes could both kill and cure. In crowded taverns and beneath starry skies, the story of Medusa was passed from one storyteller to another, growing in mythic proportions. Travelers spoke of her solitary figure wandering desolate plains, of miraculous interventions where a tyrant's cruelty was met with sudden, eerie silence, and of darkened ruins where her presence was felt more than seen. These accounts, woven together by the collective imagination of an entire people, elevated her from a victim of divine envy to a symbol of the eternal struggle between destiny and free will. The legend became a mirror in which society could see its own hopes, fears, and the potential for transformation in even the most cursed souls. Chapter 10. The Journey Begins. Under the light of a pale dawn, the heroes set out on their long and treacherous journey in search of Medusa. The path ahead was fraught with danger, a landscape scarred by ancient battles and haunted by the ghosts of forgotten gods. As they traversed rugged mountains, dark forests, and vast, barren wastelands, each step brought them closer to the truth behind the curse and the fate of the kingdom in turmoil. Their journey was marked by moments of shared laughter, silent contemplations by crackling campfires, and a quiet resolve born of a common purpose. Every new day revealed hidden wonders and untold dangers. Mysterious ruins etched with cryptic symbols, enchanted springs that glow with ethereal light, and fleeting apparitions that vanish like mist in the wind. The heroes realized that this quest was not merely physical. It was a voyage into the very heart of myth and the soul of a world on the brink of transformation. Chapter 11. The First Battle. The serenity of the heroes' early journey was abruptly shattered when a band of ruthless marauders descended upon them. These brigands, hardened by the chaos engulfing the kingdom, sought to exploit the vulnerabilities of travelers for their own gain. In a fierce clash beneath the shadow of a crumbling fortress, steel met sorcery as the heroes fought to defend themselves. The battle was both brutal and swift. Swords clashed against enchanted shields while spells illuminated the darkening sky with bursts of iridescent fire. Amidst the chaos, the heroes caught fragmented whispers from fallen foes, a rumor that mysterious Gorgon, far from the realm of pure malice, had intervened to repel the marauders. This single thread of hope, woven into the fabric of battle, steeled the resolve of the fellowship and deepened their determination to find the elusive Medusa, not as a beast to be slain, but as a misunderstood guardian whose fate was inexorably linked to their own. Chapter 12. Allies and Foes. As the dust settled after the skirmish, the heroes discovered that the world was not as black and white as they had once believed. In small, isolated villages and along forgotten trade routes, stories began to emerge of encounters with a Gorgon that defied the monstrous reputation assigned to her. Some survivors recounted how a spectral figure had appeared during moments of desperate need, repelling invaders, healing the wounded, and even offering solace to the grieving. These conflicting tales stirred a maelstrom of questions. Was Medusa truly a monster, or was she a guardian whose actions had been misconstrued by fear and superstition? The heroes, grappling with their own inner conflict about duty and compassion, began to see that every story held a kernel of truth. While some encountered ruthless zealots bent on eradicating the cursed, others found unexpected kindness in her solitary acts. It was in this murky landscape of allies and foes that the Fellowship learned the first great lesson of their quest. That understanding lay hidden in the delicate balance between legend and reality. Chapter 13. The Labyrinth of Fate. Guided by fragmented clues and ancient inscriptions, the Fellowship soon found themselves at the entrance of a sprawling labyrinth. This maze, said to have been built by an ancient civilization steeped in magic, was a living testament to the intertwined fates of mortals and gods. The labyrinth's walls were inscribed with riddles and symbols, each step a challenge to both body and mind. Inside, the corridors twisted like the coils of a serpent, leading the heroes through chambers of surreal beauty and haunting desolation. Each turn revealed relics of a bygone era, a broken altar here, a mosaic of forgotten deities there, each piece a fragment of the puzzle that was Medusa's past. The labyrinth not only tested their resolve, but also forced each member to confront their own inner demons. In the dim light of torches and the echo of whispered prophecies, the heroes slowly began to understand that fate was not a linear path, but a twisting road where every decision held the power to reshape destiny. Chapter 14. The Lost Temple. At the heart of the labyrinth, after days of navigating treacherous corridors and deciphering cryptic clues, the Fellowship discovered a crumbling temple dedicated to a long-forgotten goddess. Time had worn away much of its grandeur, yet the temple exuded an aura of ancient majesty and lingering divinity. Within its walls, faded frescoes depicted scenes of divine intervention and mortal struggle, a narrative that resonated with the very essence of Medusa's story. The temple was more than a relic. It was a repository of secrets. In one secluded chamber, the heroes found inscriptions that recounted the tale of a curse and a prophecy, hinting at the possibility of redemption. Amid dust and decay, a sense of hope began to emerge. Here lay evidence that Medusa's transformation was not an isolated tragedy, but a pivotal moment in a much larger cosmic drama. The temple's silent testimony urged the heroes to delve deeper into the mysteries that connected mortal suffering, divine retribution, and the untold power of transformation. Chapter 15. The Secrets of the Mirror. Deep within the temple's inner sanctum, hidden behind a shattered wall, the heroes uncovered an enchanted mirror of extraordinary design. This was no ordinary reflection of physical appearance. The mirror was said to reveal the true essence of one's soul. Its surface shimmered with an ethereal glow, inviting those who dare to gaze upon it to confront their innermost truths. For each member of the fellowship, the mirror presented a personal reckoning. The warrior saw the weight of unhealed wounds, the sorcerer faced a burden of secrets and unfulfilled promises, and the healer glimpsed the fragility and resilience of human compassion. When Medusa herself finally stood before the mirror, a strange transformation took place. In that reflective moment, she saw not only the monstrous visage imposed upon her by the curse, but also the luminous spirit that had once captivated hearts. The mirror, a silent keeper of ancient wisdom, hinted that the key to breaking her curse might lie in the reconciliation of her inner light with her outward form. Chapter 16. The Encounter with the Sea. Leaving the sanctity of the temple, the fellowship journeyed toward the restless embrace of the ocean. Legends told of a rocky outcrop along a storm-lashed shore where Medusa was rumored to dwell, a solitary sentinel at the boundary of land and sea. The journey to the coast was arduous, with tumultuous weather and perilous paths testing the resolve of every traveler. At the edge of the world, where the crashing waves composed a symphony of both fury and grace, the heroes finally glimpsed the figure of a solitary woman standing against the gale. There, in the spray of salt and the roar of the tide, Medusa appeared, not as a monstrous figure of whispered nightmares, but as a lone guardian watching over the ever-changing boundary between order and chaos. The sea, with its eternal cycles of creation and destruction, became a metaphor for her own existence, a force that could both heal and devastate, a mystery that beckoned further exploration. Chapter 17. The Binding Curse. In the shadow of the rocky shore, amid the clamor of the ocean's endless assault, the heroes learned the deeper truth about Medusa's curse. It was revealed that her transformation was not merely a punishment, but a binding force that connected her to the very elements of nature. The curse had intertwined her essence with the primal energies of earth, water, and sky, a force that could be harnessed, if only its secrets were understood. Scholars and seers from distant lands had long debated the dual nature of curses, as instruments of divine retribution, and as catalysts for transformation. Medusa's curse, they discovered, held the potential to be reversed, but at a tremendous cost. This revelation set in motion a renewed determination among the heroes, for possibility of redemption meant that even the darkest fate could be altered by sacrifice, insight, and the unity of hearts determined to challenge destiny itself. Chapter 18. The Trials of the Night. Under a vast, star-strewn sky, as night unfurled its velvet darkness over the land, the fellowship found themselves confronted by trials not of mortal combat, but of spiritual endurance. The night was alive with spectral apparitions, ghosts of Medusa's past, and echoes of ancient sorrow that emerged to test the resolve and integrity of each hero. In the quiet moments between heartbeats and in the eerie silence of moonlit glades, the heroes faced their deepest fears, memories of lost betrayal, and the unyielding grip of despair. Medusa, too, was haunted by visions of her former self, a reflection of beauty lost and a future shrouded in uncertainty. But in these trials, the fellowship discovered a unifying truth, that each soul, no matter how scarred, held within it the capacity for renewal. The darkness of night, rather than a harbinger of doom, became a crucible in which the seeds of hope and transformation were sown. Chapter 19. The Battle of Echoes. In a secluded valley known as the Valley of Echoes, where every sound was magnified and every cry of battle lingered like a ghost, a fierce confrontation erupted. It was here that ancient magic collided with mortal determination in a symphony of clashing forces. As the heroes marched into the fray, they found themselves facing an army of shadowy beings, manifestations of the lingering wrath of gods long past. The battle was unlike any other. It was as much a war of spirit as of flesh and steel. Medusa, emerging from the mist like a specter of retribution and hope, commanded the forces of nature. Her eyes, now honed by pain and perseverance, unleashed a power that transformed the very air into a weapon against the encroaching darkness. In that echoing valley, every clash of sword and spell reverberated with the weight of destiny, and the heroes understood that this confrontation was but one chapter in a much larger, unfolding saga. Chapter 20. The Reunion with the Past. Amid the chaos of the battle, as the echoes of conflict mingled with the ancient songs of the land, Medusa made an unexpected return to her own history. The clash of forces and stirring of elemental power unlocked memories of a time when gods walked openly among mortals, when love and betrayal were as intertwined as the roots of an ancient tree. In a brief but poignant moment of stillness amid the tumult, Medusa recounted her past to the gathered heroes, a narrative of beauty, pride, and profound loss. Her voice, trembling with both sorrow and fierce determination, told of a life that had once held promise and of a love that had been shattered by divine jealousy. The reunion with these buried memories brought clarity to the present, teaching the fellowship that to overcome the future's darkness, one must first understand and accept the pain of the past. Chapter 21. The Hidden Realm. Beyond the confines of mortal lands, separated by veils of mist and magic, lay a hidden realm, a sanctuary for those who have been cast aside by the whims of fate and the cruelty of gods. This ethereal domain, accessible only to those with hearts attuned to both sorrow and hope, was where Medusa had found solace during her darkest hours. In the secret haven, the Gorgon nurtured community of lost souls and exiles, each carrying a story of pain and resilience. The hidden realm was a vibrant tapestry of colors and sounds, a stark contrast to the harsh realities of the outer world. Here, ancient trees whispered tales of forgotten miracles, and gentle streams sang lullabies of healing. The sanctuary not only provided refuge, but also served as a living library of wisdom, a repository of knowledge on how curses could be transformed into blessings when met with courage, understanding, and the unwavering support of kindred spirits. Chapter 22. The Unveiling of Truth. Within the calm of the hidden realm, as days melted into nights and back into days, the truth of Medusa's curse began to unravel like a scroll of ancient lore. The heroes gathered around a flickering bonfire of enchanted flame, listened in awe as Medusa explained the layers of her fate. Her curse, she revealed, was not solely a divine punishment, but a complex mechanism designed to protect a secret that the gods themselves had long sought to conceal. The revelation was as staggering as it was liberating. The powers that had once been the instrument of her downfall were now the key to restoring balance to a world racked by chaos. In that moment of profound insight, the heroes realized that their journey was intricately linked to the salvation of their land. The unveiling of truth not only bolstered their resolve, but also bound their fates ever closer, for they now understood that within Medusa's eyes lay the power to mend what had long been broken. Chapter 23. The War of Shadows. As if in answer to the newly revealed truths, a dark force began to stir at the edges of the known world. A cabal of exiled deities and vengeful spirits, united by a common hunger for power and retribution, emerged from shadows. They sought to reclaim what they believed was rightfully theirs, a domain where divine rule was absolute and mortal hope was but a fleeting whisper. The War of Shadows erupted with the fury of 1,000 storms. In battlefield where light and darkness clashed in a kaleidoscope of magic and steel, Medusa found herself at the forefront of an emerging conflict that transcended personal vendettas. The heroes, united by their shared purpose, rallied to her side. Every clash of arm and every surge of spell echoed with the promise of change. Amid the tumult, Medusa's curse, once seen as a mark of eternal damnation, began to reveal its hidden potency, a power capable of tipping the scales in a battle that would decide the fate of realms. Chapter 24. The Alliance of the Brave. In the wake of the Dark Uprising, the need for unity became undeniable. Medusa, with her fierce determination and profound understanding of her own duality, forged an alliance that would bind together disparate forces under one banner. The heroes, once bound by their individual quests, now found themselves united by a common enemy and the shared dream of a better world. Gathering leaders, warriors, and mages from every corner of the fractured kingdom, Medusa orchestrated a council of bravery. This alliance was not built on the foundation of power alone, but on the belief that even the most cursed soul could become a beacon of hope. Together, they devised strategies to combat the rising tide of darkness, blending ancient wisdom with modern valor. The Alliance of the Brave became a symbol of unity, a living testament that in the face of overwhelming adversity, the combined strength of hearts dedicated to justice could defy even the most relentless forces of shadow. Chapter 25. The Dark Prophecy. Deep within the recesses of an ancient library buried beneath ruins and time, the heroes uncovered a forgotten scroll. Its brittle parchment bore a dark prophecy that spoke an impending cataclysm, a battle in which the very fate of the world would hang in the balance. The prophecy foretold that Medusa's gaze, a power both feared and revered, would one day determine whether destruction would reign or if salvation might yet dawn. The words of the prophecy resonated with both dread and possibility. They cast a long shadow over the alliance of the brave, yet also served as a clarion call to action. For the heroes, the dark prophecy was not an inevitability but challenge, a riddle that demanded the courage to rewrite destiny. As they studied the ancient text, they realized that the future was not fixed. It was a tapestry woven from the choices of those who dared to dream, to fight, and to believe that even the darkest curse could one day give way to redemption. Chapter 26. The Rise of Legends. In the aftermath of revelations and on the precipice of conflict, new heroes began to emerge from the very people who had once cowered in fear. Ordinary villagers, touched by the whispers of Medusa's hidden compassion, rose to challenge the status quo. Their stories of bravery, sacrifice, and quiet defiance became the lifeblood of a burgeoning legend. These newfound champions, inspired by the strength of their cursed savior, rallied in the face of oppression. Their deeds, recorded in ballads and inscribed on weathered stones, quickly spread across the land. The rise of legends was a testament to the idea that destiny was not solely the realm of gods and chosen few. It belonged to every soul willing to fight for hope. In this stirring chapter of history, the collective will of the people began to reshape the narrative, turning ancient curses into the foundations of a future filled with possibility. Chapter 27. The Journey Through the Underworld. In search of deeper understanding and a means to unravel the mysteries of her curse, Medusa resolved to journey into the realm of the dead. A shadowy underworld where the boundary between life and death was but a thin veil. With a select group of trusted allies, she descended into this abyss, a realm where memories mingle with the sorrow of countless lost souls. The underworld was a place of eerie beauty and profound despair. Along winding paths lit by ghostly luminescence, the companions encountered spectral figures, each carrying tales of unfinished business and unfulfilled dreams. Here, the rules of mortal existence were upended, and every step was a test of resolve. Medusa's presence, both feared and revered, served as a guiding light for those wandering in perpetual twilight. Through trials of courage and compassion, the heroes sought answers in a realm where every soul's story was etched in the fabric of eternity, learning that redemption sometimes required confronting the deepest shadows of one's past. Chapter 28. The Dance of the Sirens. Within the labyrinthine caverns of the underworld, where the line between enchantment and peril was blurred, the group encountered ethereal beings known as the Sirens. Their haunting melodies wove a delicate dance of seduction and danger, drawing companions deeper into a realm where every note carried a hidden intent. The Sirens, with voices that echoed like whispers of ancient sorcery, challenged the heroes to confront the allure of despair and the seduction of giving in to darkness. For Medusa, their songs resonated with both longing and warning, a reminder of what she might have lost in the wake of her transformation. In the midst of the spectral ballet, each hero was forced to face the duality within themselves, the desire for escape and the necessity of perseverance. This dance, fraught with tension and beauty, became a turning point in their journey, a moment when they realized that the path to redemption was not free of temptation, but illuminated by the courage to resist it. Chapter 29. The Trial of Compassion. Emerging from a mesmerizing dance of the sirens, the heroes encountered a trial that transcended the usual tests of might and magic. In a quiet, somber chamber deep within the underworld, Medusa came upon a spectral child, a fragile soul, orphaned by divine cruelty and lost in the currents of sorrow. The child's eyes, wide with both terror and hope, spoke of a pain that was as ancient as the curse itself. This trial was not waged with weapons or spells, but with the delicate art of compassion. Medusa knelt beside the child, offering comfort and a promise of understanding. The act of empathy was transformative. It broke through the hardened shell of isolation that had defined her existence. For the heroes, witnessing this tender moment revealed that true strength lay not only in the ability to fight, but in the capacity to heal. The trial of compassion became a beacon of hope, a quiet declaration that even in a realm of shadows, the light of kindness could spark the beginnings of redemption. Chapter 30. The Duel of Fates. Back in the realm of the living, destiny beckoned once more in the form of a climactic duel. Medusa found herself pitted against a formidable adversary, a warrior whose heart burned with divine wrath, and whose strength was rivaled only by his unwavering resolve. The duel was not merely a contest of physical prowess, but a battle of philosophies. The idea that one's curse was an irreversible mark versus the belief in the transformative power of choice and sacrifice. In a clearing bathed in the pale light of dusk, the two combatants clashed in a spectacle of sparks and magic. Every swing of the sword and every deflected spell echoed with the weight of fate. The battle was fierce and unrelenting, testing both Medusa's mastery of her newfound powers and the warrior's relentless drive. Yet, as the duel unfolded, it became clear that the true confrontation was internal, a struggle between accepting a predetermined destiny and forging a future defined by one's own will. In that clash of fates, the outcome would ripple far beyond the battlefield, heralding a new understanding of what it meant to be both cursed and free. Chapter 31. The Prophetic Vision. In the aftermath of the intense duel, as the echoes of clashing steel faded into the twilight, Medusa was gripped by a prophetic vision. In a cascade of vivid images that transcended time and space, she saw the fragments of a future still in flux. Battles yet to be fought, alliances that would shatter and be reforged, and a destiny that hung precariously between ruin and renewal. The vision was not a single coherent scene, but a mosaic of events and emotions, a tapestry woven from the threads of hope, despair, and possibility. In one moment, she beheld her allies standing triumphant on a field of broken chains. In another, she saw the anguished faces of those sacrificed to the whims of divine retribution. This prophetic dream was both a warning and a call to action, a reminder that every choice, every sacrifice, would reverberate to the corridors of time. Empowered by this glimpse of what might be, Medusa and the heroes steeled themselves for trials ahead, determined to reshape fate itself. Chapter 32. The Tempest of Despair. Not all trials came in the form of physical battles or spectral encounters. A tempest of despair, born from ancient sorcery and the collective grief of a fractured world, swept across the land like a relentless tide. Dark clouds gathered, suffusing the sky with an oppressive gloom, as if the very heavens mourned the sorrow of ages past. In the midst of this overwhelming storm, Medusa and her companions found themselves tested in their very core. The tempest was not a mere meteorological phenomenon, but a manifestation of deep-seated pain and unspoken regrets. As the winds howled and rain battered their weary bodies, the heroes were forced to confront the raw emotions that had long been buried beneath layers of duty and fear. It was here, in the heart of the tempest, that they discovered a fundamental truth: that despair, when met with unwavering resolve, could be transformed into a source of strength and renewal. Chapter 33. The Resurgence of Power. In the calm that followed the storm of despair, a quiet transformation took hold of Medusa. Within the depths of her cursed essence, a long-dormant power began to stir, a power that was not solely destructive, but imbued with capacity for renewal and healing. This resurgence of power was subtle at first, a gentle glow in her eyes, a soft hum in the air around her. Yet, with every passing day, it grew into a force that could alter the very fabric of reality. For the heroes, witnessing this transformation was both awe-inspiring and humbling. The curse that had once defined Medusa was now shifting into something altogether different, a wellspring of untapped energy that offered hope for both herself and the broken world around her. In this chapter of rebirth, she began to see that her gaze, long feared for its destructive capabilities, might one day be harnessed as a force for healing, a beacon that could mend the shattered bonds between gods and mortals. Chapter 34. The Battle at Dawn. As the first light of dawn crept over the horizon, heralding a new day and a renewed hope, the forces of light and darkness prepared to clash on a vast, open plain. This battlefield, bathed in the soft glow of sunrise, became a stage where ancient magic met mortal determination. Medusa, now transformed and resolute, led her allied forces into combat, her eyes burning with the promise of redemption and rebirth. The battle at dawn was a symphony of clashing steel, crackling magic, and the determined cries of warriors united in purpose. Every heartbeat resonated with the collective desire for a future free from the shackles of old curses. As the sun's rays illuminated the field, The heroes fought not just for survival, but for the right to shape their destiny, a destiny in which even the curse could rise to become the architects of a new era. Chapter 35. The Inheritance of Pain. In the midst of the epic struggle at dawn, each warrior on the battlefield found themselves confronting the heavy inheritance of pain, memories of ancestral curses, deep-seated wounds, and the silent sorrows passed down through generations. For some, these scars were a reminder of the price of defiance. For others, they were the fuel that ignited a fire of rebellion against the injustices of the divine order. Medusa, standing at the forefront of the battle, felt these burdens as if they were etched into her very soul. In that moment, she understood that every drop of pain, every tear shed in sorrow, was also a seed from which future strength might grow. The shared agony of the warriors became the unspoken language that bound them together, a language of resilience and defiance. In the cauldron of conflict, the heroes discovered that the scars of the past, rather than being marks of weakness, were the very symbols of their capacity to endure and ultimately triumph over fate. Chapter 36. The Enchanted Forest. After the battle at dawn, the weary heroes found respite in an enchanted forest rumored to be as old as time itself. The forest was a living sanctuary, its ancient trees whispering secrets of bygone eras, and its foliage shimmering with an otherworldly luminescence. Every step along its moss-covered paths was imbued with the promise of healing, and every rustle of leaves carried the echoes of ancient lore. Within this verdant refuge, Medusa and her allies discovered that nature, with all its unspoken wisdom, held the key to restoring balance. The forest served both as a sanctuary and as a crucible, a place where the scars of battle could begin to mend and where the seeds of new hope could take root. In quiet groves and beside shimmering streams, the heroes reconnected with the simple truths of life, learning that even in the aftermath of relentless conflict, the natural world offered solace, renewal, and a promise of continued growth. Chapter 37. The Healer of Broken Souls. Deep in the heart of the enchanted forest, the fellowship encountered a mystic known only as the Healer of Broken Souls. A gentle presence amid the whispers of ancient trees, this healer possessed an almost supernatural ability to mend both physical wounds and the deeper, invisible fractures of the heart. With a touch that radiated warmth and a gaze that saw through the layers of pain, she became a quiet but steadfast symbol of hope. Under her guidance, Medusa and her companions embarked on a period of healing, both literal and metaphorical. The healer's arts, passed down through countless generations, helped to soothe the lingering effects of old curses and fresh scars alike. In the soft embrace of nature and the tender ministrations of this compassionate soul, the heroes rediscovered that the path to redemption was paved not only with valor and sacrifice, but also with forgiveness, self-acceptance, and the gentle mending of broken spirits. Chapter 38. The Siege of the Citadel. Just as peace seemed to be gently unfurling in the quiet corners of the enchanted forest, dark forces gathered on the horizon. A mighty citadel, once a bastion of order and civilization, became the target of a relentless siege by the forces of darkness. The citadel, a symbol of human resilience and unity, now stood as the last refuge against a tide of malevolence intent on reasserting ancient tyrannies. Medusa, alongside her brave allies, rushed to the aid of the citadel's defenders. In a battle that stretched the limits of both strategy and raw courage, every stone of the fortress and every soul within its walls became a battleground. The siege was a test of endurance, as the defenders faced wave after wave of onslaughts. In the midst of chaos and the echo of clashing armies, Medusa's leadership shone through, her presence a reminder that even in the darkest hours, the spark of hope must be fiercely guarded. Chapter 39. The Heart of the Storm. During the prolonged siege, as tensions peaked and the relentless fury of the enemy seemed unending, a supernatural storm erupted over the battlefield. This was no ordinary tempest. It was a manifestation of raw, elemental fury that roared with the intensity of a vengeful deity. In the eye of this storm, where wind and rain merged into a maelstrom of chaos, Medusa discovered a truth that would change the tide of battle. Standing resolute at the center of the swirling tempest, she realized that the raging storm was but a mirror to her own inner turmoil, a force that could either be unleashed to wreak havoc or tamed to serve as a wellspring of power. With each step taken into the heart of the storm, Medusa channeled her curse into a focused energy that calmed the raging winds and bolstered the spirits of those around her. Her defiant stand against both nature and fate inspired her allies to hold firm, proving that even the wildest forces could be subdued by the strength of a determined heart. Chapter 40. The Alliance Fractures. As the siege drew toward a critical juncture, old wounds and buried conflicts among the Allied forces began to resurface. Distrust, born of centuries-old grievances and recent sacrifices, threatened to splinter the fragile unity that had been painstakingly forged. In the midst of the ongoing conflict, discord echoed through the ranks, challenging the very foundation of their alliance. Medusa, ever the mediator and leader, took it upon herself to mend these fractures. Through heartfelt dialogues and the sharing of personal burdens, she brought together the disparate threads of loyalty and honor that held the alliance together. It was a painstaking process, one marked by tears, heated debates, and moments of bitter introspection. Yet, as each member of the fellowship came to understand that their individual pain was interwoven with the collective struggle, the bonds of trust began to reforge. In the crucible of battle and heartache, they emerged more united than ever, ready to face the darkness with a renewed commitment to each other and the hope of a better future. Chapter 41. The Ascension of the Fallen. In the wake of a particularly brutal engagement, as the cost of battle was measured in both blood and sacrifice, the heroes came to witness an extraordinary phenomenon: the ascension of those who had fallen. Through ancient rites and the mysterious intervention of divine forces, the spirits of the fallen were given a second chance at life, emerging as ethereal guardians charged with watching over the realm. This ascension was a solemn but uplifting moment, a reminder that sacrifice was not in vain. The souls of those who had given everything in the fight against darkness now became eternal protectors, their presence a guiding light for the living. Medusa, moved by the sacred ceremony, saw in it the embodiment of her own journey, a transformation that, though born of pain, could lead to a rebirth of hope and strength. The ascension reinforced the belief that even in the most desperate of times, the cycle of life and redemption was unbroken. Chapter 42. The Redemption of a Curse. At last, Medusa reached a turning point, a moment where the lines between curse and blessing began to blur into a single, transformative truth. With the help of an ancient relic recovered from the depths of a long-forgotten shrine and the unwavering belief of her allies, she embarked on a perilous quest to redeem her curse. This was no simple task. It demanded a journey into the heart of darkness and the willingness to confront the very gods who had condemned her. Each step toward redemption was a battle of its own. Medusa had to navigate treacherous landscapes, both external and internal, facing challenges that tested her resolve, her compassion, and her capacity for forgiveness. The quest became a personal odyssey, a search for the elusive balance between the power that had once been a curse and the potential for healing and transformation that lay hidden within. In this grand endeavor, every sacrifice and every victory was a step toward rewriting her destiny. Chapter 43. The Wrath Unleashed. The gods, enraged by the prospect of their punishment being undone, mobilized their divine fury with ferocity that shook the very heavens. What had once been a distant murmur of retribution soon became a full-scale assault on the mortal realm. The Dark Pantheon, furious at the thought of Medusa's potential liberation, unleashed a torrent of wrath that manifested in cataclysmic battles across realms. In these harrowing clashes, the forces of divine fury and human resilience collided in a spectacle of raw power. Medusa found herself not only defending her own newfound hope, but also rallying the heroes to stand against an enemy that seemed invincible. The battles that ensued were filled with chaos, destruction, and a palpable sense of impending doom. Yet, amid the barrage of divine wrath, Medusa's eyes burned with fierce determination, a promise that no matter how relentless the fury, the power of a redeemed soul could rise above even the most potent of curses. Chapter 44. The Secrets of the Abyss. Desperate for means to tip the scales in their favor, Medusa and her allies ventured into the depth of the abyss, a realm shrouded in shadow and steeped in forgotten lore. This was a place where conventional laws of reality were suspended, and every step could lead to unspeakable horrors or ancient wisdom. The abyss, with its endless chasms and eerie silence, held secrets that challenged everything the heroes had known about gods, curses, and the fabric of existence. In the Stygian darkness, They encountered enigmatic beings and unearthed relics of an age when magic reigned supreme. The revelations from the abyss were both harrowing and transformative, clues that hinted at a forgotten covenant between mortals and the divine, and a path that could finally free Medusa from her curse. With each dark secret uncovered, the heroes felt the weight of destiny lift slightly, replaced by the promise that even in the depths of despair, knowledge and redemption could be found. Chapter 45, The Final Confrontation. At long last, the stage was set for an epic climax, the final confrontation where every sacrifice, every whisper of hope, and every tear shed would converge to decide the fate of the world. In a realm where mortal valor met divine wrath, Medusa and her allies faced their most formidable enemy yet, a coalition of vengeful deities and corrupted spirits determined to maintain their hold over fate. The battlefield was a swirling vortex of magic, steel, and raw emotion. As the final confrontation unfolded, every moment was charged with the tension of a destiny long in the making. Medusa, her eyes blazing with both defiance and hope, led the charge. The clash was cataclysmic, a symphony of agonizing loss and triumphant courage. In the heat of the battle, every act of valor, every act of sacrifice, resonated with the timeless truth that destiny was not written in stone, but forged in the fires of human will. Chapter 46, The Shattered Illusions. In the aftermath of the final confrontation, as the dust of battle slowly settled, the heroes found that the illusions which had long obscured the truth were finally shattering. The dark forces, once thought invincible, were revealed to be flawed and vulnerable, each manifestation of divine malice now exposed as a mere shadow of its former terror. As the veil of deception fell away, clarity emerged. The allied forces saw that the enemy was not an unstoppable tide, but a fragmented echo of ancient grievances. The shattering of these illusions allowed the heroes to see not only the weaknesses in their foes, but also the hidden strength within themselves. In this revelatory moment, hope surged anew, as the realization dawned that the power of unity and truth could dissolve even the most deeply rooted deceptions. The remnant of the enemy, now diminished and scattered, served as a solemn reminder that nothing, not even divine wrath, was absolute in the face of genuine transformation. Chapter 47, The Last Stand of Heroes. As darkness closed in from all sides and the weight of the past seemed poised to overwhelm the future, the heroes gathered for one final stand. In a desperate but unyielding act of defiance, every warrior, mage, and soul who had endured the long and arduous journey now stood shoulder to shoulder, their resolve as unbreakable as forged steel. This last stand was not just a battle. It was a culmination of every struggle, every sacrifice, and every moment of courage that had defined their journey. The allied forces, united by shared pain and hope, fought with the ferocity of legends. Every fallen comrade was remembered in the clash of arms, and every whispered prayer became a clarion call to persevere. In this ultimate confrontation, the heroes affirmed that the spirit of resistance could shine brightest in the darkest of times, even as the echoes of loss mingled with the triumphant chorus of hope. Chapter 48, The Dawn of a New Era. When the final clash gave way to silence, the first light of dawn broke over a land scarred yet unbowed. The ancient battleground, once a theater of bloodshed and despair, slowly transformed into a symbol of rebirth and renewal. The surviving heroes, their faces etched with sorrow and determination, gathered to witness the promise of a new era, a future where the scars of old curses could begin to heal. In the soft glow of morning, Medusa led survivors through the ruins of the old order. The dawn was not merely the end of night, but the beginning of a journey toward reconciliation and transformation. The people of the kingdom, inspired by the valor and sacrifice they had witnessed, dared to dream a world where the legacy of pain was transformed into a testament to resilience. The new era was born from the ashes of strife, a reminder that every ending was, in truth, a beginning. Chapter 49, The Echoes of Destiny. Years passed, and the deeds of Medusa and her companions became interwoven with the very fabric of the world's history. The echoes of their epic battles, whispered by the winds in ancient forests and inscribed on the stones of ruined temples, continued to inspire those who sought to challenge fate. Every tale, every legend, was a testament to the unyielding spirit of humanity and the possibility of redemption, even for the most cursed of souls. In quiet moments across the land, Parents recounted the saga to wide-eyed children, ensuring that the lessons of bravery, sacrifice, and transformation would never be forgotten. The echoes of destiny, though softened by time, continued to remind every listener that fate was not predetermined, but was instead shaped by the courage of those who dared to dream, fight, and love beyond the confines of despair. Chapter 50. The Legacy of Medusa. In the twilight of her years, Medusa gazed upon a world that had been irrevocably changed by her journey, a world that had learned to see beauty in the broken and hope in the haunted. Her legacy was not defined by a curse or a fearful gaze, but by her unyielding determination to transform darkness into light. In a final act of profound grace, Medusa dedicated herself to nurturing the seeds of hope that had been sown throughout her long life. She became a living legend, a bridge between the divine and mortal realms, a testament that even the most fated curse could be reimagined as a legacy of strength, redemption, and boundless possibility. Her story, recounted in countless songs, poems, and whispered prayers, would continue to inspire generations to come, serving as a timeless beacon that reminded all who heard it that every soul holds the power to redefine its destiny. Conclusion. In the end, the saga Medusa transcends the simple narrative of a cursed creature and redefines what it means to be both a victim and a victor. Through decades of strife, epic battles, and transformative journeys, Medusa emerged not merely as a figure of mythic tragedy, but as a beacon of hope and resilience. Her life, woven from the threads of pain, defiance, and redemption, became a testament to the power of transformation, where even the darkest curse can be reshaped into a legacy of strength and enlightenment. Medusa's journey teaches us that the scars of the past do not have to dictate our future. The alliances she forged, the battles she fought, and compassion she nurtured served as a foundation for a new era, a time when division yielded to unity and despair gave way to a promise of renewal. Her story resonates with the eternal truth that redemption is possible when one dares to embrace both their flaws and their innate brilliance. As the echoes of her legend continue to inspire generations, Medusa stands as a living reminder that within every soul lies a capacity to redefine destiny. Her legacy, immortalized in song, story, and whispered prayers, encourages us all to rise above the confines of fate and to forge a future illuminated by hope, unity, and the unwavering power of the human spirit. Fascinating facts from Medusa, the cursed guardian of fate, magnifying glass still to the left. Origin story: glowing star. Medusa was born as a mortal with extraordinary beauty, destined to become much more than the legend of a monster. Her early life was filled with hope and the whispered prophecies of ancient seers. The curse unfolds: snake. A divine curse transformed her flowing hair into writhing serpents, marking her as different. This curse, born out of envy and divine retribution, set her on a path of both isolation and newfound power. Dual nature of the cursed cross swords. The curse was not just a punishment. It was also a binding force that connected Medusa to the elemental energies of nature. Her gaze, initially feared for its petrifying power, later revealed the potential for healing and transformation. The oracle's prophecy crystal ball. A mysterious oracle foretold that Medusa's eyes held both destruction and salvation, driving her on a journey of self-discovery that would alter the fate of gods and mortals alike. Warring kingdoms and heroic alliances castle. As a great kingdom fell into turmoil, diverse heroes banded together not to slay her, but to understand the truth behind her curse. Their quest symbolizes the unity of disparate souls in the face of overwhelming darkness. Mystical labyrinths and lost temples classical building. The saga takes readers through ancient labyrinths and crumbling temples filled with forgotten lore, each step revealing a deeper mystery about divine curses and mortal resilience. Trials beyond Battle Crescent Moon. Beyond epic duels and battles, the heroes underwent spiritual trials, facing inner demons, confronting despair, and discovering that compassion can be the greatest form of strength. Journey into the underworld skull. Medusa and her allies even ventured into the realm of the dead, meeting spectral beings and unearthing long-buried secrets that challenged the very fabric of existence. The dance of the sirens' musical notes. Enigmatic sirens played a pivotal role, seducing the heroes with haunting melodies that tested their resolve, adding layers of temptation and inner conflict to their epic quest. Redemption and rebirth sunrise. In the climactic chapters, Medusa embarks on a perilous quest for redemption, Her journey from cursed outcast to a beacon of hope underlines the possibility of transformation and healing through inner strength. Epic battles and elemental fury cloud with lightning and rain. The saga features breathtaking battles, from the Valley of Echoes to the siege of the Citadel, where divine wrath meets human courage. Medusa's control over elemental forces, such as calming a raging storm, highlights her evolving mastery of her powers. Legacy of Unity and Hope Handshake. Ultimately, Medusa's story is not just about the curse itself, but how the scars of the past can forge an unbreakable bond among those fighting for a better future. Her legacy becomes a symbol of hope that even the darkest fate can be reimagined. A timeless myth reborn mantelpiece clock. The entire saga transforms Medusa from a feared myth into a living legend, a bridge between divine cruelty and human resilience, inspiring future generations with a message that every soul holds a power to redefine destiny. These fascinating details weave together an epic narrative of pain, struggle, and eventual triumph, inviting readers to re-examine what it means to be cursed, redeemed, and ultimately empowered. Enjoy exploring every layer of this timeless tale.